You're born in New York City sometime in the early 1900s into what looks like a picture-perfect American dream starter pack. Your dad's an accountant, wears a suit, drinks black coffee, somehow finds spreadsheets exciting, and for some reason, you want to be just like him. There's just one tiny problem. You suck at math, like calculator breaking levels of bad. Fractions give you anxiety. Long division might as well be dark magic. But still, you're determined to follow in Dad's spreadsheeted footsteps. So you lock in. No more goofing around. Just you, a stack of textbooks, and a prayer. Somehow, you make it into college. Nobody's really sure how, but you're in. You spend the next few years drowning in accounting exams, finance courses, and existential dread. But eventually, you graduate. Congrats, you're now officially allowed to be overworked and underpaid. So you shoot your shot. Apply to all the big banks and shiny corporations you can name. They ghost you harder than your high school crush. Not qualified, they say. And they're kind of right. You don't have experience, connections, or a CPA license. Basically, you're an accountant in name only. Luckily, your dad pulls some strings. His old friend owes him a favor. Classic. And next thing you know, you've landed a job as a junior analyst at the Treasury Department. Not exactly Wall Street, but hey, at least it's government work. You've got a desk, a badge, and you get to tell people you work in finance without technically lying. A few weeks in, reality hits. You spend 8 hours a day battling Excel from the underworld, fixing typos, dates, and formulas that were broken before you were born. You suggest a new system once. Your boss looks at you like you just insulted her grandmother, then changes nothing. You hate it, but you stick around, because if you pass your CPA, the real jobs might finally open up. Then one day, you're reviewing the IRS budget, half asleep, when something weird pops out. A number that shouldn't be there, then another, and another. At first you assume you messed up, but after weeks of double-checking, triple-checking, and rereading the same cells until your vision blurs, it hits you. This isn't a mistake. It's fraud. Big fraud. Like missing money kind of fraud. Now you've got a problem. A real one. Because if you say something, your boss will probably brush it off. Or worse, blame you. But if you don't say anything, well, you're officially part of the cover-up. Good luck with that. Days go by, and you can't stop sweating. Not because of the AC, you're considering something insane. See, you know who's behind the fraud. The guy. The puppet master pulling the IRS strings like it's his own personal casino. And instead of reporting him like a good little citizen, you start thinking about doing the opposite. Yeah, you're thinking about helping him. Why? Because if you help him cover his tracks and disappear like a ghost in a pinstripe suit, then maybe, just maybe, he'll return the favor. A better job. A fat bonus. You're not proud of it, but at this point, pride doesn't pay the bills. So you do it. You walk into his office like a bargain bin James Bond with documents and a pitch. You lay it all out. The fake entries, the missing zeros, the paper trail that shouldn't exist. And then you hit him with the escape plan. Clean, undetectable, genius if you say so yourself. You finish talking. Silence. Then he looks at you. And in that moment, you're 90% sure he's about to murder you. Because honestly, that'd be cleaner than letting you walk out with all that info. But instead, he smiles. Not a friendly smile, the other kind. The kind that makes your spine itch. He thanks you for coming in, says your plan is smart, that he'll use it, and you nod like that's totally normal and not completely terrifying. A few weeks later, your phone rings. It's him. He followed your plan, worked like a charm. Nobody suspects a thing. He even throws in a thank you gift, a payment big enough to make your student loans cry in relief. And that's when it hits you. Maybe you are greedy, or maybe you were always greedy and just needed someone else's crime to unlock it. Then he calls again, wants your help hiding more numbers, more fraud, bigger stuff. You say yes, because why stop now? It's still just accounting, right? Some numbers here, some entries there, no blood, no crime scenes, just spreadsheets and silence. And weirdly enough, the guy becomes kind of a mentor, the kind who shows you how power really works. And it feels good, too good. Months go by and you finally ask for what you really wanted, a real job, a legit one. Big bank, shiny skyscraper, some fancy title that makes you sound smarter than you are. You've moved dirty money, kept mouths shut, You figure you've earned it. But your mentor, the fraud father, has other ideas. He says he's got something better, more exciting, serious money, which, let's be honest, is code for you're going deeper into the illegal abyss. But hey, maybe you'll get a cool watch. The gig? Working for his friend, the Don. Yes, that's what people actually call him. Super subtle. Apparently the Don is in the pharmaceutical business. Translation? Drugs. Big ones. And it's not just bookkeeping. You'll be laundering millions, real cartel cash, the kind that gets you on a DEA watch list just for sneezing near it. But before you respond, there's already a meeting set. A dinner. Of course it's a dinner. Where else do men in suits casually discuss laundering millions? You show up, and the Don's guy is already there. Sharp suit, dead eyes. He doesn't smile, doesn't blink, just slides over a manila folder like it's a menu. Inside, instructions. The job? Launder a few $1,000,000. Make it squeaky clean. No screw-ups, no attention, no excuses. Pull it off, and you're in. For real. You almost walk. Almost. But then you see the cut you'd get. Enough to retire twice or fake your death and start over as a scuba instructor in Bali. Tempting. So you say yes. That night, they send you to an address. Just an apartment. One of the Don's guys is waiting outside. Doesn't say a word. Just hands you a key, nods, and walks away like a ghost in a hoodie. You open the door, and boom, mountains of cash, literal piles, like you've walked into a money-themed escape room. You shut the door like someone just walked in on you in the shower. Did they say a few million? Because this looks like Fort Knox moved in and got comfortable. You take a breath, count it. $5 million. You've never even seen that much money in one place. But now it's your problem. Your job to make it disappear legally. So you get to work. First, you acquire a few small businesses, nail salons, laundromats, a smoothie shop you'll never step foot in. Then you spin up shell companies, crank out fake invoices, funnel the dirty cash through, pump it into the shells, and finally, reintegrate. Voila! You've just turned crime into clean profit. And honestly, you're getting good at this. In just 3 months, you call the Don. It's done. He's shocked, not just because you pulled it off, but because you did it fast, clean, and without catching the attention of the DEA, FBI, or Alphabet Soup Agency of the Week. They pay you handsomely. You're now officially the Don's guy, the go-to money magician. You're a high-level accountant for someone important, though you still don't technically know who you work for. That is, until one day the Don finally meets you face to face. He smiles, pours you a drink, and says, "Welcome to the cartel." A few months into cartel life, you finally cut the last loose end. You quit the Treasury Department. No notice, no goodbyes. Just gone. Then you fly your parents out of the States. Tell them it's for their safety. You don't explain much. They don't ask. Some things are better left vague. And that's when it really sinks in. You're not working for the cartel, you're inside it. Drugs are cooked in Mexico or Colombia, shipped north, sold on street corners you'll never see. Then the cash flows back, stacked, bundled, counted, and delivered straight to you. This is your world now. Rooms full of money, ledgers that decide who lives comfortably and who disappears. You count every dollar, log every transfer. One wrong number, one missing zero, and that's it. You don't get fired, you get erased. Most cartel members don't even know you exist. You're not on the streets. You don't carry a gun. But don't confuse that with safety. You're watched constantly, from the shadows, from rooms you never enter. The government is cracking down hard. Undercover agents are everywhere. Other cartels have eyes everywhere too. If you become a liability, even accidentally, you're dead. Simple as that. The police aren't your friends. The DEA definitely isn't. You don't talk to anyone, ever. You move constantly. New apartments, new cities. Never long enough to build a routine. Routines get you found. Found get you killed. And then there's the part you hate the most. Sometimes the numbers aren't enough. One day a journalist starts asking questions. She connects a few local businesses, sees patterns, your patterns. If she publishes, the whole laundering structure collapses. Investigations, raids, prison, or worse. You have a choice. You make it quickly. She never publishes anything. You tell yourself you didn't have a choice, that it was necessary. that it was her or you. And maybe that's true, but that doesn't make it easier to live with. You don't sleep well after that, but you do sleep. And in your world, that's how you know you've crossed the line for good. Years pass. Somewhere along the way, you stop being the accountant. Now you're the guy at the table, the one people wait for before making a move. You don't just clean money anymore. You help decide where it flows. New routes, new territories, new problems to erase. And the scary part? You love it. You could do this forever. Then life throws a problem at you. The Don calls. Short, serious. No small talk. He tells you your old mentor, the man who brought you into all this, is threatening to go to the government. DEA. Full confession, names, numbers, everything. You're shocked. Not angry, just surprised. So you visit him for the first time in years. He looks smaller, older, tired. You ask him why. At first, he refuses to talk. Then you push, slowly, patiently, like he taught you. Eventually, he breaks. He tells you his grandson was killed, shot in the street. Wrong place, wrong time. One of the Don's soldiers. Collateral damage. And now he can't live with it. He says he helped build the monster that took his grandson's life. He wants it to stop. And if it doesn't, he calls the DEA. You try to reason with him. You really do. You tell him it's too late, that the cartel doesn't just stop. But he's done listening. He sends you away. He's made up his mind. You know what that means. The cartel won't let him live. But here's the problem. They can't act fast enough. All he needs is one phone call, one conversation. And by tomorrow morning, you're not sitting at a table anymore. You're sitting in a cell. Years of work gone. So you do what you've always done best. You think. All afternoon you build scenarios. None of them end well. Then it hits you. The fraud. The one you helped him hide all those years ago. Buried, forgotten, untouched. You could dig it back up. And this time, you wouldn't be hiding it. You call the Don, tell him the plan. Tell him to get his men ready. You expect hesitation. You don't feel any. Your mentor taught you how power works. He just never expected you'd use the lesson on him. You hate this, you really do, but he's in the way now, and you've come too far to stop. Step 1. You walk into the FBI and report the fraud. You bring documents, records, proof, the kind they can't ignore. He's arrested the next day. Just like that, he's silenced before he can say a word about the cartel. Step 2. You wait. The next morning, the news comes in. Your mentor is dead, found in his cell, exactly as planned. The cartel had people inside the bureau, silent hands in quiet corners. All it took was one green light, one whisper, and just like that, the man who taught you the game never woke up. Of course, there's an investigation. 2 actually. One to find who killed him, another to dig deeper into the fraud. Both go nowhere. No leads, no suspects, no answers. But the government's getting louder. More raids, more headlines, more heat. So the Don makes a call. He tells you to disappear for a while. Take a vacation, lay low. And honestly, you could use one. In 6 years, you never stopped, never rested, never breathed. The longest break you ever took was a long weekend, and you spent half of it on a phone fixing numbers and chasing wires. So you pack a bag, you fly to the Bahamas, and for once, you let yourself sit still. You're lying on the beach, warm sun, soft waves, drink in hand. You close your eyes. You almost forget. Then you notice them. 2 guys, dark shirts, sunglasses, glancing at you too often to be random. One says something to the other. They start walking your way. Your hand slides to your bag. The gun's still there, loaded, always is. They get closer. You grip the handle. And just when you're about to pull, they flash smiles and start flirting with the woman behind you. Turns out, you're not the target. She is. Your grip loosens. You breathe. Then she leans in. A hand grazes your neck. A whisper follows. "Mr. Money, the Don says vacation's over." You turn. It's her, the same woman they were hitting on, already walking away. The 2 men follow, back in formation, like nothing ever happened. You smile, because this is your life now. Constant vigilance. Eyes on every corner. Never truly safe. Never really clean. Just waiting for the day it all comes crashing down. But not today. Today, you pack your things, dust off the sand, and head back to work. Because no matter what the job is, you're still just an accountant. Just like Dad, except Dad got out.